You might be wondering, why do data analysts store data in two different tables, the fact table and the dimension table? You might have probably downloaded different data from different sources like cargo and the likes, and if you notice, there is always two different tables inside it, a fact table and sometimes multiple dimension table. That's why if you notice, the title of this table is always like this. Probably let's take a sales data for example. We are going to have a table that is called fact sales, and have others that is probably like dim dimension, dim product, dim date, and the likes. So what is the difference between this fact sales and this dimension product and dates? So that's what we're trying to analyze today. And so stay with me and let's see what's the difference between it. Don't forget, my name is Oladibidi Michael. I'm an accounting graduate, a data analyst, and a financial insight specialist. So what is fact sales? What is a fact table? Fact table is a table that contains data that are measurable, data that are countable. In fact table, you have mostly only foreign keys. Fact tables is always larger than dimension tables. It contains multiple rows compared to dimension tables. Fact table can have repeated rows, repeated values compared to dimension table. So for example, your fact sales here is the fact table because it's going to contain countable data like the cost, the price, the quantity sold, the revenue is going to be inside fact table, and it's going to contain foreign keys like probably you have your primary key here is going to have like product ID or date ID, or we call it date key. Those are the data that is going to be inside the facts table. It must be measurable, countable. It contains large data compared to dimension table. It can have repeated values compared to dimension table, and fact table is mostly always one. In most of data, always one compared to dimension table. So what is dimension table? Dimension table is a table that contains data that describe something. It contains only descriptive data. For example, dim products here will contain only data that is describing a particular product, that is describing different products. For example, inside this dim products, we are going to have like product ID, product name, product category. So the product name, the product category, they are still describing what the particular product ID is all about. And another thing you should notice is that product ID dimension table always have primary key, and it does not have repeated rows. You know what is primary key? Primary key is a column that is used to uniquely identify each rows in the data. So it is not meant to repeat itself. So there cannot be repeated value inside the dimension table, and it's always smaller in size compared to your fact table. I hope it is well understood. Fact table contains of countable data, while dimension table contains of descriptive data that is used to describe a particular something. So let's take, for example, a receipt of a grocery store. You are going to have on the receipt, you are going to have product name, that's the name of the product I bought. I'm going to have category. I'm going to have unit price. We are going to have quantity. Then you are going to have total price. So the receipt contains all these items. Which of these items is going to your facts table? Which of the item is going to your dimension table? Now, you can see that we have product name and product category. So these two data, they are still describing what you purchase. On the receipt, that is where you are going to know, okay, this person bought so item. This is from this product name. And the product item, for example, you bought apple, it falls under fruit category. So we are going to know that, okay, you bought this product which falls under this category. They are still describing what you purchased. That's why they are going to be going to your dimension table. Dimension table. I said it earlier that dimension table is a table that contains data that describe a product, a thing. It contains of descriptive data. Why this unit price, quantity, and total price, they are going to your facts table. They are countable, they are measurable. They are going to your facts table. So I'm very sure with the little explanation I just did, next time that you are building a dashboard, next time that you come across a data source, you should understand why certain items are under facts table, why some are under dimension table. You should understand the structure behind the dashboard. That is the main motive of having this particular section. Facts table and dimension table, you don't mix them together. When separating your data, knows the one that is going to your facts table, knows the one that is going to your dimension table. That is how to structure your data that is working behind the dashboard to have a faster dashboard. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.